Carlina Dwan, and I am a third-year doctoral student in the joint program in English and Education. I was lucky enough to receive a professional development internship through the English department throughout the academic year of 2019 to 2020, and I got to intern with Michigan Quarterly Review, which is an interdisciplinary and international literary journal here at the University of Michigan. During my time with MQR, I served as an education coordinator for their literary journal. So I actually spent the bulk of my time reading through archives of MQR past issues and designing new lesson plans that were using specific pieces of literature published in the past. And this internship was really amazing for me. It provided a really immersive entrance into a world that I already cared deeply about, which was the world of creative writing, arts education, and scholarship. But it also, it further fleshed out my understanding of that world. It helped me kind of understand the ways I could stitch together my creative and academic identities.
I received a professional development grant last summer 2020 to work with the University of Michigan Press. And then this past summer, I did another internship with the University of Michigan Press that was sponsored by the press itself through work study. And also started a position at the Ginsberg Center as an assistant editor for the Michigan Journal of Community Service Learning. Summer 2020, I completed with the University of Michigan Press, mostly working with the acquisitions department, but also spending time working with marketing and production in order to give me sort of like a sort of broad overview of like what publishing is as an industry, but also to get a sense of what types of skill sets and values different types of essentially different types of workers bring to the table in order to turn a book from an idea in an author's head into an actual physical object. And also allowed me to sort of think about scholarship at a more macro level. So instead of thinking in terms of like what conversations I as a scholar am contributing to and what am I like advancing, instead sort of thinking like at a macro level, what are the conversations that constitute a field as a whole. And it was very interesting and helpful to sort of have that view of scholarship while also doing prelims.
So I'm going to be talking primarily about my experience in a history labs course, which I did 2 years ago with the history department. The course that I participated in was a partnership with the U.S. Holocaust Memorial Museum in Washington, D.C. And our work was developing content for an online teaching tool called Experiencing History. So Experiencing History is a program of the Holocaust Memorial Museum that offers online teaching tools that are primarily intended for undergraduates. So in terms of transferable skills, this involved a lot of work in digital archives, and then also public-facing writing and research. So trying to think about how we could present these complex and difficult topics in a way that was easily digestible by those reading at kind of an undergrad level. But my work in public programming with the museum really got me thinking about how training in communications and narrative and interpreting and contextualizing evidence really can play many different roles in museum and public humanities spaces that are much broader than just kind of like walking through an exhibition in a physical museum.
So I thought I would focus on the variety of positions I've held and the various skills that they have guided and formed. I met the folks at UMA who work as user experience researchers, and I became invested in learning more about the larger umbrella that they fall under. This experience as a qualitative analyst has taught me many things. I've learned to co-write and co-edit, to keep up with schedules set by everyone but me. I learned social science methodologies, specifically inductive thematic analysis and phenomenology. I worked with Qualtrics to create research questions and circulate them as surveys to specific populations. I created feedback and assessment surveys. I conducted structured and semi-structured interviews. And from those, I worked with the lab to create co-books and discern theme saturation. One of my favorite moments during this work was when we found themes that quantitative analyses could not have discerned, further building my belief in the power of qualitative research and centering the voices of individuals instead of and over the researchers. Today, I found that all these skills have made me a valued participant outside of academia.